Hey guys, well, at the end of last year, last year's mowing season, I had some problems with my Snapper rear engine rider mower here. You've seen this mower in other videos. It's the one I got from the pawn shop, got running, and I was mowing and I got about over here. I was almost finished, and all of a sudden I lost all forward momentum. And I looked behind me on the ground, and this was laying there. This is the driven disc, which drives the mower. So let's take a look under here and see what we have. Alright, there's that big plate looking deal there. That's the drive disc. And normally, this bolts, you see this little hub here, this bolts to that. And it kind of runs, sits up in here like this. Well, this was laying here, and I didn't really get under here to look. I just knew I was probably going to have one, because it's already kind of worn and hard and cracked and things like that. So I just automatically assumed that I was going to have a driven, this is called a driven disc. I was going to have a driven disc. So I went down to my local lawnmower supply place. They sell lawnmowers and new mowers and service and things like that. So went and got that, and we got down there and we got looking at this. They brought up the parts book. This is a kind of an old mower, so they had to go back into the book and look. And at first we couldn't figure out what was going on. This thing, it's got these studs here, but obviously there's no way for that to bolt on. And we studied on this, and come to find out, what happened is, if you look right here, you see in there, those are welds. Somebody, there's one, somebody in the past jerry-rigged this thing. What they did is, there's some pieces missing out of it. I'm going to show you. I've bought them now. Show you what's up there. Look over here, turn this. What they attempted to do is they attempted to just, instead of using the correct parts to hold all this together, they just tried to weld that, and not supposed to do that. So I'm gonna have to kind of grind this down a little bit, smooth this down, because what it is, let me show you what's supposed to be going on here. Printed this off the internet. Here's the new parts over here, and here's the new driven disc. You can see that some of these holes were filled in here with weld, and these are the two parts that are missing off this. How this works is, here's the diagram, and there's the part we were looking at, has the little nuts threaded down on it. This was that backing plate that this was welded to. And there's the driven disc. But what was missing is there's a fiber thrust washer, which is this thing, and this thing here is called a smooth clutch plate, which is this thing. And so that's how all that goes together. That's why we couldn't figure out what was what. So somebody evidently just decided when this broke, or whatever happened to it, something broke, I guess. Who knows? This is how they decided to fix it, which is, of course, totally wrong. So now I'm going to put it back together the right way, since I have all the parts. And you can also kind of see here, I'm not going to show it, but you can figure out, you can see who supplies the parts for Snapper mowers now. So okay guys, I'm going to do that. That should be mainly just a matter of taking these 4, looks like 1/2-inch nuts off here. You see how when I turn that, that's connected to the gearbox, it's making the wheels turn. So that gives you a little primer on how that works. Makes a nice sound too, doesn't it? You like that? Okay, alright guys, well we got some cloudy stuff coming in. I'm going to try to get this thing fixed here real quick. I'd like to see if it works before it starts raining. So, see you in a bit.